back to my channel. In this video we are gonna try canvas painting. So as you can see in the video, this is a canvas that I had bought a long time ago, and I painted a thin layer of oil color. But since it was a long time ago, it has faded. So in this video we are gonna start by applying a thin layer of acrylic colors from fevicryl. In this video I have used shade black 02 from fevicryl acrylic colors, and I have spreaded a thin layer all over the canvas with the help of Faber Castell synthetic brush in the size 12. It is a pretty huge brush and can get like the entire area covered in under like 5 minutes. So I am going to explain you my logic behind using acrylic colors instead of watercolors in order to paint the background, and why I didn't use oil colors either. So what happens is, when you use oil colors, they require a huge drying time, and you cannot paint over them with other media such as watercolors. So that's why I did not use watercolors, and turpentine oil or other mediums are used, whereas for acrylic colors we can use water, which is readily available to most people. And I used acrylic colors and not watercolors because first of all it's a canvas, and second of all, if I was gonna paint this with the help of watercolors, and if I made a mistake and wanted to erase it, so it would be really hard. If it was like all watercolor, then it would be like just a blot of big black paint. So I just preferred using black paint, and so here we are done by covering it, and I left it to dry for at least 10 to 15 minutes. And here you can see that this is the sample that I have drawn before, and this is what we are gonna try and recreate on the canvas. So I planned on using white color with a paintbrush, but here what happened was the paintbrush tips was really thick, because I guess it's an old brush, like 1 or 2 years old, so it didn't really do the job. So I did end up like cutting a few of its bristles, but that didn't work either. So this is just a blooper, because as you can see in the next clip, that it just gets completely ruined. So what I had to do was, I had took a rough cloth and I wet it with water, and then I just erased it. So what happened was, the acrylic color was also wetted that time, because I didn't give it enough time to cure. So what really happened was that it became like the same faded black color which was under the canvas showed up. So what I did after that was that I erased, as you can see it in the video, it's really messy. So I left it for a day and I kept it out in the sunshine, like it was a really good sunshine that day. But you want to be careful with this, because acrylic colors can crack if the layer is not like thin enough, or if you put it out in the sunshine for way too long. So here you can see that I started by using a glass pen. So this is like a second part of the same scene, because I messed up the first time. So for using watercolors with a glass pen, you need a very thin watery consistency, but not too much water that it will ruin the canvas entirely. So you will see it ahead that what I have basically done is, I took the water, and what you would do is you would paint it in the ridges of the glass pen. As you can see that there are ridges here. So like these are the ridges that you want to target, and you want like a very watery consistency, and you want to like form like a water bead, and it should fall down on the plate, and then you would have a perfect consistency. As you can see it, that it just gave me a very thin perfect nib that I wanted, and it just made my job a way easier, and it was so much easier than using a paintbrush which I was trying earlier. drawing has started to take its form mainly. And this is Lord Krishna, as you can already know by now. So the characteristic features of the Lord Krishna include a peacock feather and the flute. So when you are doing line art, you want to make sure that you are including characteristic features which will help people identify the thing that you are going for. For example, if you are drawing sun, then like alternating circle with alternating big and small lines would help people identify very easily that it's a sun. Therefore, simplifying your art is very important while drawing minimalistically or line art. So as you can see that here I am showing you the process of like using a glass pen, where I want this thin bead to form, where it would like drop into the drawing plate, and then I would use it, so it would give me like the perfect consistency that I wanted to work with. So that's what I wanted to tell you. And yeah, so what we were talking about was that you want to draw it simplistically, and you want to include characteristic features which would help you identify what you are basically drawing. For example, if you were drawing Lord Shiva, then a Trishul with a snake would be the ones that you would be drawn to make it identify as Lord Shiva. And if you were drawing Ganesha, then you would draw like a trunk, or that's how it basically works. You want to make your drawings as simple as possible, but you want to draw the characteristic features so it's really easy for people to identify. Okay, so as you can see that it's like the glass pen gives very thin crisp lines, but since this was a pretty big canvas and I wanted the lines to be shown from a distance, I went over those lines like 2 to 3 times so that it would show through a distance. And you can also do this. I would have done this easily with the help of like a paintbrush, but then I would not have gotten this crisp lines which I got with the help of a glass pen. Okay, so here we are basically done with the white thing, and now since they made some mistakes, so what I'll basically do is I'll take this black paint. I basically initially started this by doing it with watercolor because I just had them on hand and thought that it would make my job easier, but that was a bad idea because the sheen of acrylic colors and watercolors is very different. So as you can see that I went over them with the help of watercolors, but then I just redid it with the help of acrylic colors too, because it's just getting all messed up. As you can see that I was just trying to wipe it, but yeah, then I just went over it again with the help of acrylic colors. So yeah, that just gave it a good nice finish. And I don't have it in this video, but whenever you are doing acrylic colors, make sure that you apply a coat of varnish so that like the sheen of the drawing gets protected from dust and everything, and the drawing keeps shiny. So there are 2 types of varnish that are available in the market. One is matte finish and one is the shiny finish. You can get whichever suits your needs. And yeah, that's what I wanted to say about varnish. And here you can see that I am trying so hard to make the shine of watercolor and acrylic colors meet, but it's not just working. I tried by adding more water and anything, but it just would not work. So this is the final drawing.